Thanks for stopping by. I'd like to preface this video by saying it is not a knitting tutorial, but a means to have something in the background while you work on your own knitting project. If you're like me and really enjoy YouTube, you find that a lot of the content you like to watch is very visually engaging and you've watched several YouTube videos and haven't gotten as far into your knitting project as you would have liked. So this is more of a knit with me, but me just kind of hanging out in the background chatting with you while you work on your own piece. So if you're new to this channel, welcome, and I'd like to let you know that you are watching a video in my Knit Ahead for the Holiday series, and if you're very familiar with that, you know what's going on, but for those of you who don't, my goal is to get all of my holiday projects done before December, or at least within the time frame that I need to have them completed so I can ship them out to my friends and family who live out of state. And so this episode is actually revisiting one of the projects I'm working on, and it is the blanket that I had from maybe my second episode of the series. And let me tell you what the pattern is if you need a refresher. It is the Meadow Lane Knitting Blanket by, oh my gosh, what am I saying? It's the Meadow Lane Blanket Knitting Pattern, and it's designed by 5410 Studio. And in the description below, I will link to their Ravelry site so you can download the pattern yourself. It's for free. They give you a lot of information on how much yarn you need for different size blankets that you plan to knit. And so I actually haven't followed the guideline per se, but I am attempting to knit a kind of a lap blanket slash throw, just something cozy to have on you while you're on the couch, and I'm using a super bulky yarn, and the yarn is discontinued, so also in the description box I will link to the yarn substitution site where you can find similar yarn that works like this one, which is the, just let you know, in case you might already have this in your stash, it's the Dale Garn, Dale Hubro is the line, I think. Let's see if you can get an idea there. So that's what I'm using, and I am making a color block. So I am working on the gray portion now, but I have this purple bit that I already knit all I need for the purple, and then I have a lighter gray coming after this. So let's just jump right in and get to chatting, get to knitting. So for one, happy Friday. You're probably watching this in the future considering how clunky everything is with my uploading. So it's probably going to be Saturday or Sunday by the time you see this, but hello from the past, happy Friday. And if you're in the United States of America, it is the first day, at least the first official day of summer. Now, if you're in the Midwest like me, it definitely doesn't feel like it because it's been a very cool, very mild day. But I'm hoping that by next week we'll warm up a bit. We have some rainstorms coming this weekend, so, you know, gotta deal with that. But for the most part, I plan on being indoors anyway, perhaps working on this. I do have some chores, some housework to take care of, and I might be going to the movies again this weekend. I should just buy one of those movie passes, but honestly, I have a run where I have a lot of movies I really like and I want to watch them, whether or not, you know, my schedule will permit me to, and then I also have these dry spells where I don't see movies for a long time. So I don't really know if it's going to be worth it, but I always do my best to go to the matinee. I have like the free membership, so I get points for how many tickets I buy, and then it goes to a credit, and then on certain days of the week you get a discount ticket price. So, you know, if you want to catch a movie on a weeknight, that might work. I haven't taken advantage of that yet, but we'll see. But at least for this weekend, I might go out tomorrow, Saturday, or I might go out on Sunday, and I don't really know. Some of the movies I really wanted to see are not playing at the theater by me anymore, so I'm kind of bummed out about that. But I think on the roster, Aladdin is playing still, and they have matinee time, so I might go to that. Or just on a whim, I kind of want to see that movie Late Night. It seems kind of funny, I guess. It's not really my humor, but it looks lighthearted, and it's not too, it doesn't seem too sappy or anything like that, so I could probably tolerate it. And I do like some of the people who are in the movie, so that might make it worth my time. And plus, if I'm at the mall, I have an opportunity to just kind of walk around, maybe get a Cinnabon when we're done. We'll see. We'll see how the day goes. But it's supposed to be stormy. Don't really feel like doing much for this weekend. And then next weekend, I'm supposed to be going to a barbecue on Sunday. And I'll be making a little treat to bring to that. I'm thinking lemon squares. I haven't done them in a while, and one of my coworkers was looking for a good lemon squares recipe, and I don't have one that I made from scratch, but there's this one I found on Betty Crocker's website that I really liked and used it on a couple occasions, and people seem to enjoy them, so I sent that along to her, and then she's like, oh, thank you for the recipe. Do you have any samples? Like, did you make some to kind of demonstrate how this recipe tastes? And I'm like, oh, nope, sorry. But she got me thinking, like, I could totally make that for this kind of spur of the moment party thing that I'm going to. My partner's friend invited us, and he was gonna go, and I was like, well, I guess something to do. I haven't met their friend, and how long is he really gonna stay there, So we'll see. We'll see. But definitely going to bring those lemon squares. And then I'll probably have to update you guys the next weekend on how that went. If I do end up uploading something, which I'm not too sure about. But for right now, I feel pretty good about being consistent at least once a week. And surprise, surprise, I'm off work on Tuesday and Friday of this upcoming week. And I'm hoping that means I have some time to knit and post some more videos for you, which should be super fun. And I'm really hoping that that works out with everything else that I have going on for the weekend, because I really have to basically like babysit my computer while everything is converting and running or whatever it has to do so that I can upload it to YouTube. Is it literally takes like 4 hours almost just to have the video processed on YouTube, and then another couple hours from when I have the raw footage to a web safe or a web friendly format. Also takes long, and it's like the video is about half hour, maybe a few minutes more than that, and then I edit out the weird parts where I don't know how to turn on the camera, or I'm just like adjusting where everything is on the screen and all that stuff. But it's not a long video, but it's a big file, and it also takes a long time from getting it off my phone and onto my computer. So there are a lot of things going on which make it hard for me to consistently on time send out videos to you guys, but little by little it'll get better as I can squirrel away money that I'm not spending on yarn or other knitting fun things, or necessities, and my random trips to the movies. I can add more memory to my computer, get some lighting. Next on my list is a microphone so I don't have to yell at you guys, and I have a common wall with my neighbors, and it's not thick at all, so they hear me, I can hear them, and it's kind of weird because they're probably like think I'm crazy talking to myself, but you guys know I'm talking to you. That's all that matters. But other than that, let me know in the comments, what are your weekend plans? Of course, I'll be looking at this after the weekend's over when I finally uploaded this thing, but at least for some content to talk about next time, I'd love to hear what you have planned. Maybe besides chores, hopefully the weather's nice for you and you get to go out and enjoy the sun. One of these days I'll be able to as well. I was so close to knitting at work during my lunch break outside, but because it started out okay, it was supposed to be around the 70s today, and then it dropped, and it's probably like mid or lower 60s right now. And when I went to lunch, I was eating in my staff lounge and knitting one of the hats that I showed you guys before. I'm almost done. I have like a half of an inch left before I can start shaping the crown, so I'm really excited about that. And other than that, I finished up and I had about 10 minutes left before I had to go back to work, and I was like, yeah, I'll just walk around a little bit. But as soon as I stepped outside, it was chilly, and I just had this sweater on, and because I knew, one, I was going to be cooped up inside working on stuff all day, and then two, it was supposed to be warmer, so I figured a sweater would be fine, and I feel like I probably needed my light jacket as well, or maybe a longer undershirt, and I would have been okay. But a little bit of a breeze and a lot of overcast. I have my yellow overhead light again today because it's overcast, and when I got home I had a big bowl of ice cream to give me a little energy boost before I started knitting with you guys, because I ate my lunch so fast so I could work on my knitting there that I was very hungry when it came to be like 3-4 o'clock when I had to get ready to go home. So I'm here, ice cream, probably have some leftovers for dinner, get my chores started so that tomorrow I don't have as much to do, and we'll see. I've been so tempted to take my summer clothes out and wash them and let them, like, they've been in storage containers so they smell a little plasticky, and just kind of give them a light wash, let them air dry, and, you know, hope for the best. But I'm like, I don't have enough room in my closet to kind of switch between my sort of kind of springish, winterish clothes and my summer clothes at the same time, so I might just have to bring a little out at a time and see how things go, like a couple basic tanks. I have t-shirts galore, but just to kind of see what I can do in the meantime, because I still have a lot of my heavier, well, I guess not too heavy, like my coats are put away, and most of my sweaters are washed, but I have like these and stuff like that. So, I don't know, it's so hard living in a place where you can't really have consistent weather. It'll tell you it's spring, but it feels like winter. It'll tell you it's winter, but you have like a random 65-degree day and all your summer stuff's packed up, and you're like, what am I gonna do? Yeah. Well, let me know in the comments if you live in an area like me. Are you a Midwesterner? Are you from the South? Are you from the Pacific Northwest? What kind of weather patterns do you get, and do you enjoy them? I complain, like almost everybody who lives here, about the weather, but yet I'm still here. I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like I have to stay for some reason, but at least for now, it's fine. I was trying to think of what else I was going to do this weekend. My book club's coming up, but I had already read the book we were going to do, and thankfully I have it pretty much committed to memory because it was relatively recently that I read it before I realized it was going to be one of our next ones we were reading. But the one after that I have not read, but it is waiting for me to pick up so I can take a look at it. So I'll probably do that when I get back to work, get it and check it out. And this weekend I still have some more of my light reading to catch up on, and I've renewed the books like 3 or 4 times already and still have like barely put a dent in them, so I should really bite the bullet and just knock those out. And I'm not a slow reader, it's just knit, read, paint my nails, which I did yesterday, and I'm going to have to do them again because the work I did today at my job was really beat them up, so kind of bummed about that. And I might also write a letter or two to some people that I'm kind of pen pals with, friends. Some are closer to me than others, and they sent me some stuff a while ago and I read it, and I was just kind of waiting for a moment to really recap what's been going on in my life to send them a nice chunky letter, because that's what I do. I usually wait and then a couple events happen and then I will update them on what's going on, and I just haven't, every time I think about it, something else happens. So I was like, okay, I'll wait a little longer, and then things calm down. I'm like, alright, I can write that letter, and then something else happens. So I've been keeping track. I have like a notepad with some bullet points of things I want to talk to them about, and I might knock that out. If I'm not going to the movies, I'll probably do it tomorrow, or if we end up going Sunday or vice versa, then I'll just pick a day, knock it out, drop it in the mail. Maybe the next time I leave the house. So we'll see about that. What else was I going to update you guys about? Shoot, I can't remember anymore. It was not super important, but it was knitting related. Let me move this. So my partner was out to dinner at one of their friends' houses last Sunday, and they revealed that they're expecting a child, and they were trying for a while. And I know fertility is a really sensitive subject, but I'm very happy that they were successful and being able to conceive. And they don't, it's really early, which is why I'm surprised, because they haven't even made it to their through their first trimester yet. And usually, at least from my experience, when people are announcing a pregnancy, they tend to wait until they know that for sure that the fetus is viable and is going to survive past those first 3 months, which is usually when, not usually, but is oftentimes when a woman will miscarry, is when they're very early in the pregnancy. So they wait a while, make sure that the baby's growing and everything like that, and then they tell people. But they were just so happy to finally have this news that they couldn't wait that long, and they revealed it. And I was thinking, oh, it would be so nice, I think. I don't know them personally, but it would be nice, I think, to knit them a baby blanket. And I have like 9 months. Knowing my rate of time, I have 9 months, maybe 8, to get this knit. Probably keep it a neutral color because I don't know the sex of the baby, and it'll give me some time to kind of work on some techniques and things like that, and then finish this blanket, hopefully, before I start on theirs. And I haven't talked to them yet about it. See what my partner says, if they agree if it's a good idea or not. They probably will be in agreement that it's a good idea, because they're really close with the couple. But I was just like, this is another opportunity to knit, and I can put it on the to-do list for next year. So when I'm done with these holiday projects, we'll see. I might just stick to socks next year, honestly, because I always tend to jump in the deep end and have all these cool projects planned out, but time gets the better of me, motivation gets the better of me. Sometimes I come home and I just want to watch YouTube and not knit for once, or hang out on social media with my friends that I don't see often, and just kind of chill out instead of do stuff. And then when I do that, sometimes I get in a rut, and then I don't feel as motivated to pick up a project again and keep going. And so I'm hoping, especially with my channel now, really hoping, at least for knitting, since I've been doing it for over a year now, that I'll keep going. And this will be one of those hobbies that become a talent and become something that I already enjoy it, but it's just part of my life. And it's not so much a side thing that I do on lunch, but it's just kind of in my blood. Like, it's part of me and I do it all the time. And I'm hoping that that consistency and finding it finding enjoyment in it. Oh my goodness, it's a long day. And just being able to, you know, keep giving people cool gifts without feeling burned out by it is something I think is good for me. So knitting them a blanket, finishing this one, staying on top of my holiday projects, it's all for the better. For me to stay motivated and keep going with something because I know I like it and I have fun doing it. But I'm sure all of that was just a lot of fiddle-faddle. You're like, what is she talking about? But, you know, it is what it is. And I think I mentioned, yes, I did just mention about the whole what to do and everything like that. And for me, it's just, I just gotta find something and stick with it, I think. So moving on, I mentioned I painted my nails yesterday and banged them up bad at my job. I was shifting some stuff around and running my hands across things, and of course, even though I have like a protective, pretty good top coat, I'm lucky if my nails last a week. And if you're a person who paints your nails by yourself at home, let me know how long your nail polish lasts, and do you do it a lot? I usually don't. I have like these cycles, especially in the summertime when I'm not as interactive at my job with like a lot of physical labor, except for today. I can usually keep my polish on for a long time without it chipping, but if it's like a regular fall or spring season when it's really busy at my job, my polish barely lasts a week. It might start chipping day 1, maybe day 2, definitely by day 4. And it's kind of disheartening. I could always go to a nail salon because I found that when I get it done at the nail shop, it lasts longer, but it's also a lot of money, and I just love different nail polish colors and the convenience of having a lot of polishes at home, so I generally take advantage of that during the slower seasons when I know I'm not as physical with my hands at my job. But now that I've been knitting, I'm finding it really hard to decide which one to do, because like last night I painted my nails. I have to wait for them to dry. I can't really knit, at least for a couple hours, until they're dry, and by then, by the time I've got home, cooked dinner, cleaned, and know that my nails are going to be safe from like anything that might smudge them, it's already too late and I have to go to bed, and I'm just like super torn. But I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Do you paint your nails? And if you do you also have this dilemma where you're waiting for them to dry, but you really want to work on a project because you're like, this is the perfect time to knit because I'm not doing anything, but I have to not do anything because my nails need to dry? I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but I'll let you be the judge. So, long story short, I will definitely need to repaint my nails Sunday after I've finished anything else. Like if I go out tomorrow, depending on when we get home from the movies and hanging out at the mall, I might be able to finish up my chores, and then I can do like all of my Sunday get ready for work stuff Saturday night, which is usually, if you're a person like me with natural curly hair, you usually have what we call like a wash day, where you really like go in deep condition, you know, comb it out and everything like that. And usually for me it's either Saturday or Sunday because during the week I just don't have the time. But if I do that on Saturday, then I can paint my nails Sunday and let them just dry all day and then do my second coat or my top coat and call it good. Or if I go out Sunday instead, I'll do all that tomorrow and maybe just do my nails when I get back. It's hard to say. I'm not too sure. But I'm sure by next week you'll find out what I decided to do. And I don't know if you've noticed, but especially if you've watched my other videos, I've been trying to keep my hands up, but I know they keep falling down. But I also changed the angle of the tripod, and I haven't moved it from the position it was in last week. I am sitting, I'm kind of like leaning back on the couch instead of like very forward and not so far that my back is touching the couch directly because I have a little bit of a buffer with a pillow. But I could do like maybe more of like a cross-legged style where I'm right up against the couch, and then you'll see more of my lap and what I'm knitting. But I was knitting like this at work just to see, like, is it me or am I? And I realized I was just like holding my shoulders like this instead of relaxed. And I think that might be why I feel like it's straining my hands holding them like this, because I am kind of tense. And I do that a lot. I just like, I'm just balled up and I'm like, I just need to let loose. I need like a massage or something. I need some chamomile tea. I just need to chill out. And luckily, knitting has been really good for me for that. But at the same time, I'm just so focused on it and getting all of my knitting as perfect as I can, even though we know that's not always the case. But I'm so focused on the knitting that I am starting to get tense again, even though this is supposed to be a relaxing activity. So I'm not sure what to think of that, but I'm trying. I'm trying to make sure you guys can see what I'm working on, so that if you are actually watching me instead of just listening to me, then you can see what I'm doing instead of just kind of looking at my hands kind of moving around down here, and you can't actually see the progress I'm making. But before we go, which it is coming to the end of my video, I try to keep them around 30 minutes or so, give or take any weird things that happen, just to kind of keep them not too long but short enough that you can get a little bit of knitting done yourself. And if you're watching this series, you can just play all of the videos after another and several hours, and you're like, wow, I got all my project done because I was just listening to somebody talk about life and their own knitting and all that good stuff. So here is the progress report. Pretty, yeah, maybe this way. Can you see? This is not, this isn't the best representation, but there we go. Not very long, but longer. And I'll probably knit a little more of this off camera, kind of like with the dog sweater. There might be a part 3, because this is part 2 now, and there might be a part 4 or 5. I'm not sure, because it's still pretty chilly here. And I was telling one of my coworkers that I'll probably keep knitting this blanket until it's burning hot here, and right now the temperature's been pretty mild. I could probably just switch gears and keep working on this blanket and then pick up the dog sweater later, start a hat later. I do have one more hat to knit, a couple more pairs of socks that are actually for people and not the practice one that I was showing you, and a wrap, and I think that's no, and like a cowl thing, which, oh my gosh, the yarn for that is just so pretty and so soft, and I'm so excited, so excited to work on that one, but in time. But right now, I just want to get what I have on the needles, off the needles, have a check-in with you guys at the end when I'm done with all my projects and pick it up to the next year's assignments and see how far I get with those and all of the other odds and ends that I have going on. So, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching until the end, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.